What are the best veggies we should be planting today? We're 20 days away from summer. I think the answer lies in where you're at and what you like to eat. This tomato's doing wonderful in the bale. And we're in luck. Today is Saturday, and you know what that means. We go to you and we celebrate what's going on in your garden. We're going to take a look at contributors from Minnesota to Florida and around the world. And if you haven't planted anything, you still have a lot of time. Even if you don't have a lot of space, you can still grow a bunch of food. Here in Zone 7, I'm just going to go ahead and put another basil next to this sunflower that's coming up. Just look at the worms. Thank you, buddy. And obviously, you let your area dictate what grows when. And in my garden, I know it's okay to go ahead and plant basil because this is coming up from seed from last year's basil. Now, I started this little yellow tomato late. I think we still have plenty of time. We got 20 days before summer. We're going to plant that kind of deep, so remember, pinch out those lower leaves. Then just backfill in around it. Add a little bit of mulch. We're good to go. And we've got a little bit of space right here next to this trellis. Let's go ahead and put another one of our little young starts in. And while we're here, take a look at this. Where there's a leaf, it's coming out of the stem. We got flowers above it, so there's not going to be any more tomatoes below it, but we also have a pretty good sucker right here. We're going to go ahead and remove that. It's always a good idea to keep some scissors or pruners in your pocket. Well, while I look at a few more of these tomatoes, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of our contributors. After Walter harvested his potatoes, he put in some seedlings and then went ahead and harvested some peppers. And he's got beans coming on. That's going to make for a wonderful dinner. But this just shows exactly how you can succession plant and extend your harvest all summer long. Walter, thank you for the inspiration. Larry's showing us one small corner of his garden and wanted everybody to know, even if you think you don't have enough room, a couple buckets, you can produce tons of squash. Larry, great idea. Wonderful inspiration. Thank you. Aren't our contributors awesome? Please hit that like button. Let YouTube know that we want to share this with more people that might want to learn how to garden. Now, this little pepper, you might think that's a little too late to be starting a pepper, but I think it's going to be just fine. Here in Zone 7, we still have a lot of time. Now in Minnesota, it's just warmed up. Let's go ahead and take a look at another bunch of our contributors, see just exactly what's possible in a garden. Barbie's in Zone 4, Minnesota, and it's now warmed up enough that her raised beds are now flourishing. This is wonderful, and we expect a great harvest, Barbie. Thank you. Some folks said you can't grow bananas in Zone 7. Well, Art proved you could. But then the Oklahoma wind come by and knocked them off. And Art, I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm very excited for your success. Thank you. Jan is a gentleman from Switzerland who decided tilling around his deep mulch garden was a great way to stop those invasive grasses. That, with the insect netting, setting him up for a terrific season. We look forward to the bumper harvest, Jan. Thank you, and that's a wonderful idea. Don started his gardening career sort of like I did, hating all the work as a child. But recently, Don gathered some leaves and decided to revisit gardening. Now Don is looking at the hardest work we ever do in a deep mulch garden, and that's harvest. Thank you for the inspiration and the wonderful setup, Don. I'm telling you, our contributors are wonderful. Please leave a comment down below and let everybody know just exactly how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their garden. And I invite you to contribute, show people what's possible in a garden. It doesn't have to be a deep mulch garden. It could be containers on the windowsill. It's all gardening. And as our contributors are showing, it kind of depends on where you live and what your weather's like. Here in Zone 7, northeastern Oklahoma, it's been one of the wettest springs on record. It's been cool at night, so I'm not quite ready to even harvest the potatoes yet, but they're coming on just fine. I think we're going to have a decent little harvest there. And some of the other things that usually are growing a little better, it's just been too cool for them at night. But everything's coming along. You can do this too. And if your unmarked seeds take a while to germinate, what do? Well, we've got a little open spot right here. I think we're going to go ahead and see what we got. Plant that. Oh, look at that. And it's just full of worms. And just like with all of it, you just move that mulch back out of the way. Dig down a little bit. And you plant like normal. Bring that mulch back in around. And we'll see what we get. Got another little one. Well, let's see what we have. This ought to be fun. And while I go ahead and get this other one in, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more of our contributors. When the wind blows and a mango falls, what do? In Bruce's Orlando Food Forest, you make mango salad. And you make it on the same day you harvest your icicle radishes. And once you harvest your icicle radishes, you replant your beds with more peppers. Bruce, this is a great example of succession planting and continuing the garden all year round. Mike and Linda's Zone 8 Texas deep mulches, full glory, overflowing in the hardest work you do in a deep mulch garden. Just look at today's harvest. Thank you for the continued inspiration. This is just exactly what you can do in a deep mulch garden. And while we're over here, look at this. This leaf is touching the ground, and if you see we got some damage on it, I'm just going to remove that. I think everything else looks pretty good. And so what else can you plant 20 days before summer? Well, there's a whole laundry list. Basically, whatever you like to eat. We're going to succession plant all summer long, so we're going to follow up behind everything that's growing here with round 2. You can do this too. But what about overcrowding? If you've been following my story, we've had several of the early girl cabbages. You can't tell, but we've removed those, and it still looks about the same. But we've been harvesting out of here. This still got a little ways to go, but we've been harvesting out of here almost every day. I don't think you can overcrowd if you do it nature's way. The life in the soil interacts with all of the roots in the soil, provides each one of those plants with exactly what that plant needs. After you've done this a while, you're going to be amazed at just how tightly nature packs things together. This turmeric is coming up on its own. We did plant a little corn in between the sweet potato slips here, and by the time the corn is finished, these will be growing well. I think there's some beets in between the corn. I wonder how that got there. Has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? And they're coming up already. And if it looks like it's overcrowded, I don't think so. We've got this nice purple cabbage right next to this nice green cabbage, right next to this nice carrot that's coming up, right next to some broccoli that's going to seed. And that's going to replant itself. I see we got some beets and some lettuce over here. You can do this too. Now I have to admit, I don't know much about growing grapes, but I did go ahead and prune this up this morning, and this thing is just absolutely loaded with clusters. We'll see if we get any of them or if we feed half of them to the birds. So if you're not sure of something, put it in the ground and see what it does. Just like the borage. They said you could eat the flowers and let this little bee do its thing. Well, we got another flower down here. Well, it does taste like a cucumber, but it also tastes like a watermelon right at the rind. That's light and lovely. Borage flowers brings in the pollinators, and you can eat it too. Even as the peas are finishing up, they're still producing really nice pods. And this is why we do it. Because it tastes great. Until you come right out, eat right off the plant, you have no idea what you're missing. Drive-by pruning. Always keep an eye on your tomatoes. You can do this too. Now, I'm not selling anything. I'm just selling the idea you need to get out there and get your hands dirty, grow things that taste good. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.